Hey beauties, and welcome back to my channel. So as you know from the title, we are going to do emo, scene girl makeup, and we're gonna take it back to 2009 for some people. I tried to put on my scenest, like cutest top that I could find. I found this cute little fishnet top and I like it. So I did have like some graphic tees, but I kind of felt like, this was more like me if, I was to ever have been like a scene girl. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the makeup.
So in today's video, the topic is gonna get real. We gonna discuss why you need to let that woman's husband go. You need to let that man's wife go. Leave them alone. Don't get to squirming and looking around. I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. So we all know, like, side chicks basically feel liberated over the marriage. So if you're married and you have like a side person, side dude, or a side chick, they feel liberated over the marriage. And that marriage is not just something that you sign. This is something that you actually went before God, and you have testified that you're going to be faithful, true to this person through sickness and health and all of that. So it's just, if you're serious about your praise, and if you're serious about wanting to have like a healthy marriage, then having an outside person is not the answer. Like, that's actually the road to destruction. And a lot of times I feel like people allow these dark entities to enter into their lives, their families, and their marriages, and they have a hard time letting it go because they are pleased off the situation. Let's speak on the outside intruder first, whether that be a man or a female. So not pleased with life, you're not pleased with whatever happened in your life, whether that be you fumble your marriage, nobody want to marry you or date you because you're not that good of a person the way you think you are, those type of people, like, or the serial cheaters, they feel like that, they just cheat or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. They just gonna cheat. So when you dealing with one of those three type of people, like, you got to understand, first off, you can't change them. Like, they're going to be who they are. And no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how good you are to them, you can't change them. And so at what point, what do you, as the person who's married to the person who's not treating you right, do? Honestly, I feel like first you need to address the fact that you've entered into a situation knowing that they were going to do this. Like, you got to accept that, because you didn't just get married and it was going peachy and they started doing this. No, people who are one of those three, they give off red flags, and you have to accept it for what it is and not try to sweep it under a rug or sugarcoat it or whatever. And we all have things about us that our partner may not like, or I'm gonna say that it could be little stuff, but is it really necessary to, like, pester your partner about it, or blah blah blah? You could talk to your partner about fixing things that you don't like, about them, but your partner is an individual. They got a mind of their own, and they don't have to do everything that you feel like is right. So we're still speaking on the side person. So I personally feel like that if a person is already that miserable in life, like, why would you let them into your mental space to ultimately fuck up what you got going on? Like, every person is not going to stick around through, like, getting cheated on and emotionally abused and all of that. some people really like peace. They like peace. They like, they just like simply to be loved, intimacy. And then there's other types of people who like to be dogged out, who like, to be cheated on. They accept it. And I personally feel like that for a marriage and for a family, it's not acceptable. Like, people go through things in their marriages. It should be private, but I personally feel like it's just not acceptable, because when it comes to kids, you want to give your kids the best life. Like, you running around here, sleeping with people, having different affairs, and you feel like that it's okay because you want to feel good off, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're ultimately ruining your kids' lives. And a lot of people don't care because they feel like, well, somebody did it to me, so they don't care in the long run. But that's not what I want for my kids. It's not what I want for my life. It's not what I want for my family. Like, I actually like want to be with one person and, build with them. But in today's society, that's just so hard to come by, because everybody is in their own little world, in their own little head. And it could be the smallest little thing make them pop off to show you like how they really feel about you, how they really feel about the situation. And ultimately, you just got to accept things for what they is. Like, if a person is showing you over and over again that I'm just going to do what I want to do, and how you feel doesn't matter, either you accept it and you get over it, or you leave them. And you accept the fact that leaving them is going to come with the consequences of your children having to remember the fact that, oh, my parents was married. They're going to spend the rest of their lives feeling like that, feeling some type of way about that. I just feel like that you really have to, first off, be mentally ready for marriage, because marriage comes along with a lot of stuff. Should it be attached to cheating? I don't feel like it should. A marriage is a unity that two people have came together to establish. Like, the third party, that's really extra in a bunch of different ways that I'm just not even gonna get into, that I just personally feel like it's just not acceptable. What I don't get about people, this is for men and women, like, why don't you, instead of like trying to go out and cheat, and you married, you got your kids, and like, that's a lot to risk. Like, who wants to really risk losing a family? Like, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be upheld over any person's head, because that's very, very toxic, and nobody wants to live like that at all. Nobody wants to live with somebody holding anything over their head, like, or trying to, like, just have like something dangling over your head so you feel some type of way. Nobody likes that or whatever. Like, most people really enjoy their peace. So, some people are, they're going to stick around no matter what. Like, they in it for the long run. They're not gonna leave. But other people, like, they're really just not gonna put up with it, because they feel like that, it could be different. And what people don't understand is that, how humiliating it is to go out in public with, the person that you're supposed to have the biggest bond with, you're supposed to be married to, and, you literally, like, gotta, like, you have to look at other people, like, do they know? Have they seen them together? Like, is this, how long has this been going on? Or, it's just all types of stuff. And that's not fair to your partner, the person that's been with you, been living in the house with you, putting up with you, and, trying to show you, love and affection, and, having a family with you. Why would you do that? So my thing about marriage is that you have to be really particular with who you marry. You can't just get married to any person, or just because, people people who marry for, money, marry, just solely for stuff like that, it never works out, because that's not what marriage is built on. You need more. Like, so finding new inventive ways to please your mate would be the best thing for you to do. Like, you literally think that two people who live in the same house get up and do the same routines on off days, have the same routines. Do something different. Like, surprise your mate. A surprise, like, it may seem like it's little, but it could be really big for them. Show them intimacy. Do different things with them. Like, when they get out the shower from taking a bath, rub them down with lotion, and give them a massage, with some oil, warm up, a towel and rub them. It's just, you gotta find, and that's not, I haven't even named anything that you actually gotta go spend money on. Go on a picnic. Like, you don't even have to spend money. Go for a walk together. Pray together. Like, that's one of the most intimate things that you could possibly do with your partner, is read the Bible and pray with them. A lot of people don't want that type of intimacy because they don't want what comes along with it. But we're talking about marriage anyways. That should be one of the things that you feel comfortable in, like confiding in your partner, and, just making sure that marriage is supposed to be about growth and about you and your partner coming together in the terms that y'all decided that we're going to do life together and we're going to please one another. Like, when you try to like add additional people like into it, that's just not gonna work. Like, it's too many different demons. You think that you pleasing your mate and you have pleasing them. They're not really pleased. Focus on what you really want. What is the ultimate goal here? Because if the ultimate goal isn't to be like, old and married and settled in together, then what's the point? Like, it's just a temporary placeholder. Do I blame a side chick? No. The reason why I don't blame the side chick is because having a side chick role is probably the most liberating role for a woman to play. Like, is that the role that I want to play? No. Nope. I ain't no side chick. But it is very liberating for a woman to be in that role, because if a man is paying her bills as a side chick, if a man is like literally taking from his family, from his wife, they're not going on dates. They not, the kids not going out to eat, none of that. They just at home, just, finding things to do, all of that. And he out here taking somebody else out to eat, parading them around, and he's supposed to be doing other stuff on that time. That's very, like, for a evil woman, who, is not righteous. That is something that would really, really just please them. And unfortunately, too many times, like, we see this happen, and it don't be secrets. These be full out relationships. So how could you avoid being in this situation? Maybe, you never seen marriage. Maybe, it's just all you saw was the side chick role. What you could do is you could use YouTube first as a stepping stone and look up some videos on ways to be more wifely, ways to be a more righteous woman. What do men want out of women for marriage? And 9 times out of 10, you're going to see that a man do not want you to play the side role. Actually, a lot of times when it comes to marriages, men do not wife women who have ever played the side role. And I'm starting to come to the realization, like, unless like you are like, in a different type of situation, and yeah, y'all looking like to further the role. Like most men won't accept you if you've been a side chick. Like they're not gonna be with you. But as the side chick also, most men don't give you as much as the wife. Like, you can feel like, oh, I'm getting something or whatever. But as long as you're getting something, that's where the issue lies, because it's just a thinking mechanicalism. Like, it's just, don't even get married if you want to be with multiple women. I've actually seen like a marriage to where this chick was involved with this woman husband, and you got to think like, I mean, I'm just thinking on the fact that the chick that I'm referring to, she wasn't even just sleeping with just this guy. She was sleeping with a whole bunch of different people. But, he did big stuff for her, like off of, and he was married. Like, he financed her an apartment. He got her a new car. And so, like, but all along, he married this whole time. Like, he married, and he also owned a business, but she didn't work there, which is very odd when I think about her actual profession. So it's just like, why? Like, why treat your spouse in that way? And I'm thinking about the person she was and the people that she dealt with. And I'm not judging. I'm just giving you facts. Like, it's just not, it's not cute. It's not godly, and ultimately you may feel like you're getting away with something, but you're not. It's gonna always come back to bite you. If you're truly prepared for marriage, then you gonna know that marriage do come with people who are just simply gonna be jealous of the fact that you have someone, that loves you enough to take that next step with you and be with you in that type of intimate family relationship. And so you should be aware of that already. And I feel like that you as a person need to strengthen your bullet, your brain, if you feel tempted off of other people because you're married. I honestly feel like people come on to you more when you're married, simply because they gonna try to mess it up for you. Like, and I feel like a lot of people, they dumb enough to fall for the okie doke. They just, it's just crazy. Like, but yeah, don't let that be you. Don't fall for the okie doke. Stay focused on your mate and pleasing them, and being more intimate and finding new ways to spend time with them and get to know them and, grow with them. And that's one of the issues in today. I feel like that is people, honestly, they want to share men. They really feel comfort in, just knowing that, that's your man and I got him, simply because maybe they was raised that way. Maybe that's just, how they feel like that you feel like that you should be pleased or whatever. But at the end of the day, you should have self-respect, and you should always carry yourself like a lady, be classy, and know that, you don't want that for your reputation. I know for me, I don't want to be a side chick. I don't want to be known as a side chick. And so, like, I don't want that a part of, anything attached to my name. And so, like, being a side chick is not a badge of honor. It's not something that, you should be proud of or anything like that. It's actually should be embarrassing, because it says that I'm not enough for a man. I'm only enough for him part-time, or I'm only enough for him on the side. I'm not enough, for marriage at that point, because it's just not desirable for marriage. And people do get married anyways, but yep, see how that goes in the long run. Honestly, it comes down to self-love. Do you love yourself enough to respect yourself, to not put yourself in a position to be known for something like that? Or do you not respect yourself, not respect your mind, don't respect other people's boundaries and feel like it's okay? And once you feel like that it's okay and you cross boundaries with people who have literally pledged their life to each other, even in a relationship, because when people are in relationships, they're preparing for marriage. I feel like that's very, very low, and you're not going to make it far off of that. Like, if you want to be desirable for marriage, you want to, even you're single, you want, marriage in the future, and you want to prepare for that, and you need to invest your time in things like getting to know God better, reading a new novel, reading the Bible, yes, but even if you're not really into religion, start a new book, start a new, something new in your health side of things, pick up a new skill. Like, if you always looking to feel confided in off of other people because you're upset with your mate, or y'all going through things, or how you ever gonna grow with your mate? How do you feel like that y'all ever gonna like really just be like the strongest? That's just, I don't know. It's different. Men are different, and I try to accept, I learn different things about men every day, and I try to like learn, their brains and what they really want. But sometimes, like, I feel like that they don't, when it comes to marriage, like, they play around with it or whatever. Like, that's not something that you playing around with, because we all know like what's the attachments like with marriage, and there's like bigger things that you have to like learn from your mate, and you have to accept. And there are things like, you really just like, marriage is huge for people, and people really downplay that because they get married young, and they feel like this the perfect step in life to get married right now, and they don't even be prepared for it, and they end up fucking it up, and they don't take marriage serious. Them be the side chicks too. So if you just so happen to be a side chick, or you just so happen to know a side chick, try to better your behavior. You got to get it together. Like, you can't be known as that for your whole life. Like, pull it together. Like, there's just no reason for all of that. Like, it's just, it's time to like really just grow up or whatever. When you gonna get right, when you gonna turn your life to God. Like, there's you being, that's that woman's husband. Let him go. That's that man's wife. Let her go. And people have a hard time respecting it. And this what goes back to, baby, when you get married, you better make sure you know what you're doing, because it's too much or whatever like that comes along with it. So a lot of people they don't do it right. It's done incorrectly. They just signing or whatever, and they end up looking real foolish and crazy because stuff don't go right, and it just, don't be the fool that let your husband leave, and you just married and he not with you, because guess what, at that point someone else is involved, especially like if it's been years. Like, I don't care how you look at the situation. Like, it's just, you should know. Like, don't be dumb or whatever, like, or naive. And ladies, I'm just letting you know, if you don't get that the correct document signed when it comes to marriage, and you decide to go out there and cheat, if he don't leave you, you better get ready to rumble, because it ain't gonna be pretty. It's just, you have to respect yourself as a woman, have class, And that's what a lot of people in my generation, they really, really lack that. And, I'm not going to say that like I'm perfect, but I'm not like out here doing all of that, or I don't do that or whatever. I don't do the most, and I don't do anything actually. But I feel like that, sometimes I may like post something that may not be like, all the way like, holy or sanctified, but I feel like it's acceptable. I'm out here, I'm just living life, and I don't do anything that's just too bad or over the top. So, being a side chick and having that as a badge of honor is just not something that I feel like should be glorified. But a lot of people out here, they like that because their parents, literally, that's all they saw from them. They never saw marriage. That's all they saw was like just like a side chick type situation or whatever. And so that's all that they can accomplish because maybe their minds feel like that they can't accomplish further. I'm going to end this by saying, although I am hopeful still about marriage, it's just not something that is like completely like at the forefront like of my mind like right now. Like, oh, I'm only worried about like finding a man, or like, worrying about like, getting married like in general. Like that's not what I'm focused on right now. Am I still like, wanting that? Yeah, kind of. But the way that I see like, marriages these days, and, how quick they end, or they don't last long, or people don't be happy. It's just you want to be with somebody that you could trust, and that you also could spend time with. But yeah, trust is a big thing because a lot of people just can't be trusted. They just evil. They evil, and they just can't be trusted. So I honestly don't know if it's the overpowerment, the embarrassment that they want you to experience at all times so they are comforted. No matter how good you are to people, they still will humiliate you in front of people, and you don't deserve that. If you are married, don't forget that you have your kids, or 9 times out of 10, you want to have kids with this person, and you don't want to mess up by going out there cheating and ruining what you have at home. That's hard for your family to recover from. You embarrass them. It's humiliating. It's something that it's manipulating. It's everything. Like, you can't trust your partner after that. It's, you really don't want to trust any person after that. Like, it's, you have to just really just realize that how you treat people in situations ultimately determine like your future and theirs. So don't let it be you that get left with the embarrassment, the humiliation of a sinking marriage from, having a side person. And it ain't gonna be you, the person that's faithful, the first person that's true, honest. Trust me, you may feel like, oh, it's an embarrassment at first. I've heard so many wonderful testimonies. You come out on top. You come out on top. Like, these people feel like that they can treat you any type of way. They can do what they want to do. That's okay. You gonna come out on top in the end. So don't worry about them. What you do is continue to focus on you. Continue to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to, to really, really dig deep into that bag. And, let them, whatever it is that they feel like that they want to do, let them do it. But as far as you and your marriage, you don't be distracted. You keep moving forward, with your partner, because this is the person that you chose to be with. This is the person that, you ultimately have grown with, and you need to continue to focus on that. There's nothing good that comes from getting a divorce after like 45, like 40, I feel like, if you've been married to that person and you trying to divorce them after like 40, kudos to you. But there's nothing like, there's nothing out here, like it's just the options like, at 30 compared to like the options at 20 is really different or whatever. And you really just have to be just respectful of people's marriages, respectful of, the fact that you weren't involved in this, and that you have to work on your personal demons in order for you to understand their bond and their marriage. See, if you never been around that, or you experienced a bad marriage firsthand or something like that, and you trying to cure your demons off of somebody else's situation, then, you really need to work on yourself. Thank you all so much for listening to me talk about these side chicks and these side dudes and these no good cheating people who are supposed to be in marriages.